channel. My name is Kim, but everybody calls me Nursebae.
I'm the average girl from your video, and I ain't built like a supermodel, but I learned to love myself unconditionally.
So today's topic is gonna be from hustler to nurse. Before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that it does not matter where you came from in life. It don't matter what family you were born into. You can become whatever you want to in this lifetime. Too often we grow up and think that because we may have come from a family that's not wealthy, we may have been raised in the hood, we may have been raised in a less fortunate environment, that you can't grow up and become whatever you want to. And I'm here to tell you now that is not the case. You know, a lot of people look at me and you think, oh, she's had it made. She has to come from money. That's not true. And I genuinely believe that God put me here on this earth to show you guys what's possible. A little backstory about me, because a lot of you guys do not know who I am. That's the main reason why I titled my YouTube, Who is Nursebae Ivy? Well, now that you're here, I am here to let you in on a secret. I like to say that I am just a small town girl with big dreams. What I mean by that is, I can remember back to whenever I was about 12 years old. That's when I started doing hair. I remember looking around thinking like, dang, whenever I get big, I'm gonna make something out of myself. My mom didn't graduate college. My dad didn't graduate college. I am the youngest of 3 siblings. But I just remember thinking like, at 12 years old, we can't afford to get my hair done on the regular. I can't afford the nicest clothes and shoes that the other kids are wearing. But when I get big, I'm gonna make something out of myself. I just started experimenting on my hair, you know, plaiting and stuff. At the time, I'm thinking, oh, I'm doing something, I need my hair done. But that quickly transpired into me doing hair full time. I started doing other people's hair about the age of 14 to 15. At the time, I was just practicing, but I became better and better and better at it. By the time I got to high school, I remember saying like, when I get older, I'm gonna do hair full time, whatever. From the age of like 15 to 16, when I was doing other people's hair, I knew without a doubt that I was gifted, because I was doing grown people hair. Like, girl, you're doing everybody's hair. Fast forward a little bit, I remember when I graduated high school and I was telling my family, I think I want to be like a hairstylist. I think I want to be like a cosmetologist. And not my immediate family, but there were other people in my life saying stuff like, hair, like, why won't you go to school for something else? You can't make a living by doing hair. That's funny because I don't think they realized what they were doing to me. I'm young, I'm trying to make it. You're not gonna tell me that I'm not gifted in what I'm doing today. But it started to weigh in on me. But one thing I did learn about myself is I'm gonna do whatever I put my mind to. I can't let you project anything onto me, because I believe in me, and I've always believed within myself that I can become whatever I want to. I started doing everybody else's hair, and I was making a killing, y'all. If you look me up, before I became Nursebae, I was touched by Kim. And when I tell y'all I had the cities on lock, I was making so much money, and those same family members were coming around wanting to get their hair done. I'm like, okay, it's kind of crazy, you know? But it was just a chance for me to show them I can do this. You see that I can do this. So whenever I got into college, I started seeing different nursing students and stuff like that. And I knew that I wanted to be a nurse, but there was nobody in my family that was a nurse. Literally nobody in my immediate family. But something in me was just telling me like, you know, you probably can do it. But I would just push that on the back burner. At one point, I became a hairstylist, and I was working in a salon, and I was doing nurses' hair. I was doing doctors' hair. And then the woman that I was working in the salon with, she was doing their hair as well. And it would always just cross my mind like, okay, what if I really can do this? Like, that never crossed my mind. It was just like, as the years went by, I was becoming better and better at doing hair. But there was this little itch. Like I say, it's an itch inside of me that always wondered, can you do that? Are you really aiming too high? And again, if you think back to whenever I was younger, I was always told, oh, that's too much, you know. I don't know, nobody ain't doing that, so you sure you can do that? Just people putting things in my head, and thank God for whatever that itch was inside of me that told me, yes, you can. You can do whatever you want to do. Thinking back to, that was a reminder for me. These doctors coming in all the time, and I'm asking them questions, y'all. You know when you're interested in something, when you don't mind stopping a stranger and asking them, how are you doing that? How long have you been in the business? What got you started? And you don't want to stop looking this kind of information up, right? I became so curious. And within that time of me going to college, my first year of college, I'm taking these nursing courses, but I'm like, I don't know if I really can do it. My mom became sick. And I remember having to take care of her. It started whenever I was in high school, but more so whenever I got into college. So I was going to the doctor with her, and for me, it was a bunch of medical jargon, right? I'm sitting there like, what are you saying to her? Like, she obviously does not know what you're saying, and I'm her daughter. Like, she's depending on me to kind of like stick up for her. So I became curious. Like, I wanted to know like what's going on behind the scenes. That curiosity, once again, it just keeps on telling me, you know what, Kim, you can do it, right? You can do it. Just try. Fast forward, I was going to a school called ABAC, and I was getting ready to get into the nursing program. And for some odd reason, they got these courses set up to where they want you to take classes the way they want you to take them. So I was not able to get into the nursing program at that time. And I'm the kind of person, I'm like, well, maybe it's a sign that this ain't for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a nurse. I'm just going to change my mind, reroute everything. I'm not going to become a nurse. That's not for me. I can do hair. I've been doing hair anyways. I'm gifted at doing hair. Let me just take this to the next level. I did. Like, so for a year after I did not get accepted into ABAC's nursing program, I was like, okay, I ain't worried about being a nurse. I'm a hairstylist. That's what I'm here for. Nothing more. Small mindset, right? I'm limiting myself. I'm telling y'all, no matter what I did, I would always get these little minor thoughts of, what if I can do it? A year after me not being in nursing school, not going to ABAC, I'm working in a salon, I keep getting these thoughts. So I stopped going to ABAC, and I decided to go to a community college called Southern Regional. I went to that college, but for cosmetology. I didn't care, shoot, I just wanted to wear some freaking scrubs. So I'm in cosmetology school, and while I'm in school, the cosmetology building was right behind the nursing building. I would constantly see these nursing students, and I'm like, well, you know, what if I can do it? But again, the things that people were saying to me, oh, nursing school is too hard. Oh, you don't want to do that, whatever. It was starting to get to me. A part of me didn't want to do it, but then a part of me, that little girl, that little itch that told me, whenever you get big, you're going to be somebody. So I didn't want to limit myself. I had to literally train myself to not think about what people had to say, to not look at my parents for what they weren't able to do, to not seek outside help that was not there for me. I started to say, you know what, I'm going to go around people that motivate me. That was just something I had in me. I started going to the nursing building, y'all, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I went into that nursing building, and with all doubt in my heart, I told myself, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna talk to this. If there's a nursing instructor in this building, I think it was almost about to close, like the school was about to close. The lights and stuff were turned off on the main part of the building, but down the nursing hall, I seen 2 lights on. And I said, well, God, if there is a nursing instructor in their office, when I get down there, this is my sign. Like, this is my sign that I should become a nurse. Y'all, I went down there to the nursing office, and I know exactly who this instructor was. I went and I said, hey, ma'am, how you doing? You know me, I wasn't really that fortunate, but my appearance, I think I was being stereotyped, to be honest with you. I think she was stereotyping me. I walked in and I was like, hey, I think I want to be a nurse. So I'm super excited, right? I'm telling this lady, lady, oh, I want to be a nurse. What can I do? She looked at me and she's like, okay, what is it? What are you thinking? I told her everything. I'm excited, but I'm nervous about taking that HESI that we have to take to get into this program. I'm nervous about that exam. And she was like, well, just to let you know, HESI ain't going nowhere. So if that's a thing for you, you're worried about HESI, I don't think nursing is for you. You might need to look into something else. So for a second, that got to me because I started thinking about whenever I was younger and these people telling me, oh, you can't do that. When I became a teenager, oh, you can't do that. And it shut me down, y'all. Not gonna lie, it shut me down for a moment. And I remember thinking like, dang, you know how you feel so big and then somebody say one thing to you and you just feel so small? She did that to me in that moment. I just felt like I wanted to melt in the chair. And I knew right then and there, the way that she was looking at me, that she didn't have any interest whatsoever in helping me. So I just told her, okay, well, I do have a few more questions. And she answered my questions. And I remember her asking me what my student ID number was. And she was telling me just off rip, before she even typed my number in, she was just like, you do know that you have to have a such and such GPA to get into LPN school. And I'm like, okay, because I knew my GPA was high. I knew that I had sense. But in that moment, there were so many different things going through my mind. Like, I'm thinking, is she really stereotyping me? Is she really undermining me? I mean, so much was going through my mind. But I knew once she seen my GPA that she was going to know, like, oh, she can do this. You know what I'm saying? I guess she seen everything she needed to see. She seen that my GPA was high. She seen that I still was interested in getting in the program. So she's noticing like she's for real. She gave me minimal information, but I just kind of let that slide. She was kind of rushing me out of the office, and I left that office thinking to myself, again, can you do this? Kim, is this something that you really want to do? Instantly, I told myself, you know what? Never, ever, ever in my life will I allow anybody on this earth to steer me off of my path. I'm not gonna let anybody else make me feel like I'm not good enough, like I can't do something that I'm passionate about. Before I go further into this story, I just want to let y'all know, if you are one of those people that are dealing with people telling you you cannot do something even at your adult age, even if you're a young woman that you just scrolled across my channel, if you are somebody that's experiencing that, I encourage you, move them out of the way. Because a lot of times people can keep you from your destiny if you're not as strong as I was mentally. Move them out of the way, because baby, you are you are strong enough. You can do whatever you want to do. With me, my journey to becoming a nurse was not as easy as some of you may assume. I want to let you know that what's for you will always be. And there is nothing that no man can get in the way of. I'm not ashamed of anything that I experienced. I'm not ashamed of any obstacle that I have now overcome. Keep your faith, babe. So I left her office and I'm just thinking like, oh, you know, maybe I can't. But then I had a reality check. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put cosmetology school on hold. Because I know I can do hair. That's not a challenge for me. I've always been the kind of girl where I like a challenge. You know, just having some kind of challenge kept me going. So I put cosmetology school on hold and I put more into getting into nursing school. I took the entry HESI the first time and I passed everything except for the anatomy portion by like a small percentage. And I felt discouraged, but at the same time, I looked at that like a sign of, okay, you've taken a test, you know what's on this test, you need to go home and figure out how you need to study for this test because, again, you're not gonna let this defeat you. I would always just keep it in my mind, all the people that doubted me, including this now instructor. Now, let me put this out here. She is no longer teaching. You know, I don't even dislike her. I am grateful for anybody that doubted me because it put a fire in me. And I hope you do the same thing. But I would always remind myself of the people that doubted me. You know what, Kim? You got a point to prove to yourself and the people that doubted you. But you're going to stay humble the entire time. So I felt that Hesse, but I went back. And within the time that I was sitting out for the test, I studied every day in and day out. I knew I had to get into that program. So I was doing hair part-time, and I was waitressing like full-time and still trying to get through school. Girl, I would have my freaking index cards and my apron, and I was studying every chance I had. So just know, when you're on a mission to do something that you really want to do, baby, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to start really being passionate about what you want in order to achieve it. So I had about 30 days, if I'm not mistaken, I had about 30 days to retake this exam so that I could get in the program for like fall. Honey, I went back and I took that test, y'all. But let me tell y'all how funny this is. I went back and I took the test, but the day that I went back to take this test, I was sitting in the hallway and I'm helping everybody around me study. I'm like literally sitting there with my book out and I'm asking questions. And this one lady, y'all, her name is Miss Lisa Griffin. I call her my angel in disguise. That is a beautiful woman. She's got such a beautiful soul, and she knows this. I let her know every chance I get. I remember I was sitting out in the hallway, and this is the woman that I ran into shortly after I talked to that instructor that made me feel this small. I went to Miss Lisa, and I'm like, Miss Lisa, you know, I come from a background that we didn't have anything. My parents didn't graduate high school. It's me. I'm feeling small. I remember crying in this lady's office, and she looked at me. She said, baby, there is something about you. I don't know what it is, but I see something in you. I want you to do this. I can tell you got this passion that many nurses need. You got it in you. And I'm looking like, this woman has so much faith in me, and she's never met me, but she's speaking life in me. Not many people in my life at the time were speaking life in me, but I believed everything she said. And she made me realize that you only need one person, if anybody, to believe in you. And you can do it. So I told her about the instructor, and I told her that I wanted to be a nurse, and she gave me all the information that I needed to get in the program. She told me what I needed to study as far as that Hesse. And I remember thinking, like, God, I gotta do this for me. I gotta do this for Miss Lisa. Like, she gonna be so proud of me. So I failed that Hesse, and God, I cried my eyes out. I told her, like, I called her, and I said, Miss Lisa, I didn't pass the Hesse. And she said, that's okay. I know you. You're gonna do good. You're gonna go back, go home, study what you need to study, come back in 30 days and retake that test. You're gonna do it. I didn't believe her. But I said, you know what? I got to, like, what if I can do it? It's always a what if I can do it for real. Don't give up on yourself. It's a temporary no. I went home. I studied like there was no other. I came back to take the exam. Now, this is how funny God is. So, Miss Lisa usually does not come to the testing center. She's not the woman that sits there for us to take our Hesse. But the instructor that was supposed to be there for Hesse, she was sick. I remember coming into the building, and I said, is that Miss Lisa? She came in, I said, oh my God, this must be like a sign. This is my angel, like she's here for me to take this exam. Y'all, we get in there to take the Hesse, and the power went out, and the internet went out from the city of Moultrie to Tallahassee. So they was like, you know what, y'all go take a break. You might not be able to take your test today, but go take a break and come back. Hours went by. Students are leaving. They're re-signing up for this test. And I told Miss Lisa, I'm about to go home. I think I want to take the test. I feel like I need to take the test today, because if I don't take it today, I don't know what I'm going to do when I go home. She said, baby, I don't care how long it takes for this internet to come up. I will stay with you at this school until they close the doors in order for you to be able to take your test today. I got to the point where I had been sitting there. It was like hours and hours and hours later. I finally said, I'm going to go home. Y'all, no lie. When I got up from that computer, she said, Kim, the internet is back up. They just texted me and told me that the internet is up. I'm like, what? So I'm scared, I'm anxious. And I just remember saying, you know what, I'm gonna take my test, I'm gonna do good. I had this thing I used to do when I got nervous. I would sit on my hands and I would just take a deep breath and I would just let it out real slow. I said, you're gonna do it. So I took the test and I remember getting to the last question. And when I clicked submit, there was a glitch. Like my computer screen just went out and I'm like, what? Did it get my answers? Like, am I gonna have to retake it? So I jumped up, I said, my computer is messing up. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said, check your screen. I checked my screen. And y'all, I passed. I think I made like a 98 on that HESI. And I just screamed. It was just me and her. I just screamed. And I went up there. I said, I passed. She said, I know. So I passed my HESI. Miss Lisa is my girl. I got into LPN school. And y'all, I don't want this video to be too long, but I did not make it through LPN school the first time. I passed the freaking fundamentals class. I think I had an A in that class, but the HESI, it was something, I had very, very, very bad testing anxiety. So I did not pass the freaking HESI. I took it 2 times. I still didn't pass it. And I remember feeling so devastated because I knew, like, I don't have anything outside of nursing. Like, I have to become a nurse. I've given up everything to come to school. I want to be the one in my family that breaks generational curse. So I didn't know if I could really do it. But I remember I had 2 instructors. And when I failed that HESI the second time, I remember going into the office with one of these instructors. I will never forget her. I went in there and I'm crying my eyes out because I'm like, I studied, I did everything, I just didn't pass my test. And she said, baby, you got some things going on in your life that you need to work on. Because I was going through some things in life, like it was personal things. And I needed to clear that out so that I could put everything I had into school. I remember her crying. She said, baby, of all these students in this classroom, I see something in you. You got what it takes. The world needs a nurse like you. We need more people like you to shine your light. Don't give up. You got another chance. Go home, study, do whatever you have to do. Come back strong. Because usually you make it the second time around. So I did exactly what she said. I wasn't embarrassed by the fact that I didn't make it through school. Well, I'll change that. I was a little embarrassed because I was telling people, oh, I'm in nursing school. Oh, I'm going to graduate at such and such time. And I was letting everybody on the outside know my progress and how things were going just to turn around and fail. The biggest lesson I learned in that is it's nobody's journey but mine. I'm not telling nobody what I'm going through. I'm not going to tell them that I didn't make it. And if I do decide to tell somebody that I didn't make it, I'm going to stand in there with pride and let them know, hey, I didn't make it the first time. It was not God's plan for me to make it at that time, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to be a nurse. I don't care how many times I fail. I'm going to be a nurse because this is my calling. This is my story. This is my journey. It was meant for me to do it. Went home, studied, did everything I was supposed to do. Came back, I became an LPN. So I became a nurse at the age of 22. Super young, went straight from high school into college with a plan. And when I say hustler, when I say I was a hustler, I mean that I worked 2 jobs in nursing school and I was doing hair. I did what I had to do because at the end of the day, I didn't have nobody supporting Kim but Kim. But I knew one day it was going to lighten up. So I worked from the age of 22 to the age of 23, like for a whole year plus as an LPN. And I got that itch again, y'all. I remember saying, like, what if I could become an RN? Like, what if I could do it? Got curious. So grateful for my curiosity because it has always pushed me to what's next. Got into RN school and I was still working, so don't let nobody tell you you cannot work and go to nursing school because like myself, I do understand that a lot of people are not fortunate enough to just go to school and their family pay for everything. That was not the case for me, baby. I had to hustle. I went to RN school. Fast forward, y'all. I did not make it through RN school the first time. It was the freaking HESI again. Doing great in the course, but I did not make it through my freaking HESI. I didn't let it get me, y'all. I remember everything I had went through in the past, and I was like, well, it's not my timing. I went home. I'm like, you know what? You done been through this before. Don't worry about nobody. Go home, study, put your head down, and you come back strong. So I came back. Y'all, when I got back in RN school, when I tell you, I blocked everything out. And I graduated the top of my class. I was the only nursing student on all, I think it's 4 campuses with Southern Regional, but I was the only nursing student in the freaking honors program. I will never forget when I graduated, I was going through so much. Oh my God, I was going through so much in RN school. I was crying my eyes out so much throughout the program. This is around the time that COVID came around. But I remember my teacher telling me, baby, you got to do this now. You got to do this. You have come too far. This is your second time around. You got this. Just do what you got to do, but keep your head in the game. When I finished RN school, I graduated the top of my class. I had all A's. I graduated with honors because I had a point to prove to myself. Baby, you have come too far. You know what it takes. Just keep on going. Graduated, top of my class, and I remember the pinning ceremony. When I pulled up, because we had like a Jeep, like I had drove my Jeep in this pinning ceremony, because again, it was COVID. We couldn't be like closed inside of a building. So I was driving, somebody was driving me in my Jeep, and I remember I was like lined up with a bunch of people ahead of me. When I reached the beginning where they were passing out our certificates, it was a dean of nursing, the freaking president of the school, my instructors, everybody walked up to my truck, and I'm like, what's going on? And she started tearing up, Miss Bobby Hester. She started tearing up, and she said, baby, I don't think you understand what you have demonstrated to me, this school, the faculty, the students. You just won every freaking award, y'all. My classmates voted for me for so many different things. I remember winning the Nightingale Award. It was so many, y'all. I don't want to go into that. But I won every award. And she's crying. And I remember she told me, baby, you are the true definition of perseverance. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's crying. I'm crying. Everybody's taking my picture. And in that moment, I said, God, I remember when I was younger telling myself there's something in you. I don't care what nobody around you say. You're going to make something out of yourself. And I did just that. So now I'm an RN. I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's. And I'm not going to tell y'all it was easy, because it wasn't. But I still don't give up. Anything I put my mind to, I do it. And I want you to do the same thing, because you're going to have people doubt you. You're going to have people that come into your life and they try to distract you. But you keep your eyes on the prize, and you know that you can do anything on this earth. I say this to say that you don't know what a person has gone through to get to where they are. But just know that you are the main character of your story. You can do whatever you want to do in this lifetime. I don't care what nobody has said. I don't care where you come from, where you were raised. You can do whatever you want to do. Be the difference that nobody thought you could be, because you can. And if you ain't got nobody supporting you, be your own biggest supporter. So with that being said, if you just need somebody to root you on, I am in your corner. If you ever need a word of motivation, I am your girl. So I'm new to YouTube, but I have so much more in store for you guys. So stick around for my next video. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe. And welcome to my tribe.